Hello everybody and welcome to Ensemble on Cable 14. I'm your host, Jamie Tennant. If you haven't seen the show before, here's what we do. We take 4 singer-songwriters, usually from the area, put them in a room together, give them a common theme, and then they share their songs and stories with each other and with you at home. Tonight's common theme, by the way, is Every Picture Tells a Story. And tonight's moderator and host is Astrid Young. Now, Astrid got her first amp off her half-brother Neil back in the 70s, and she never looked back. She's performed on many albums with her band Sacred Child, and she's released several solo records, the 4th of which is called Integratron, and it comes out in April 2013. She's also a best-selling author. Her book, Being Young, was a Canadian bestseller and is now in its 2nd edition. Born and raised in Vancouver, David Lum began his musical career as a player on other people's records, but then he became a really good songwriter in his own right. His last CD, If I Fall, is a fusion of modern folk and traditional folk. He's worked on many recordings and was recognized in 2004 with an MCMA Songwriting Contest Award for his song, Ghost of a Memory. Next up is my old friend, Dave Rave. He was a member of the Shakers and Teenage Head and the Dave Rave Conspiracy, the first band ever signed to a label behind the Iron Curtain. That was a long time ago. Since then, he's made countless records in various ways. He's made rock records, jazz records, and he's toured all around the world. You can catch him on the 15th here in Hamilton at Fenian Films and out in Jordan at the Jordan House on the 21st of December. He's here with his friend Bill Culp, who's a globe-trotting musician in his own right. He's performed across Canada, United States, the UK, Australia, and even the Arctic Circle. His Christmas song, Merry Christmas, Wherever You Are, was released as a duet with Canadian country music legend Marie Bottrell. And the song was a crossover smash, placed into rotation on 70 Canadian radio stations from coast to coast. Well, that's who we've got here tonight for you, so let's go join them and Astrid in the studio on Ensemble.
Thanks, Jamie. Well, here we are again.
Together again for the first time.
I know. It's been wonderful all these years. I'm so glad that I got to know you guys. And David is new.
I'm the newbie here.
Yeah, we don't know you yet, but we know you.
But you're gonna be. By the time you leave here, you'll know it all. So Dave Rave.
Yes.
What are you gonna play for us today?
The first song I'm going to do is called Anne Marie, and it's a song that I wrote in London, England, with a co-writer named Simon, English lad, and we were in Paris playing this place. You know the Bastille area?
Yeah.
We were in the Bastille area, and we were outside at the end of the show, and this girl came by on her bicycle, and Simon was attracted to her, and he went, wow. And on our way home, we were just thinking we should write a song, and then why don't we write about that girl? And why not? I said to him. So we sat together, and we figured, what's really fun about this song is I've never written with an English fella before. So he immediately said, let's have some tea. I would have said coffee. Not as good a rhyme, though. So anyhow, here's Anne Marie. You gonna help me?
I love this song, too. And it was a single, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a single. Came out 2 years ago. It was a fun one. And it seems to be one that people seem to like.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I think it's just, it's a song that everybody can sing along to. So if you're out and at home right now and you feel like singing along with it, please do. We'll hear you.
Or the camera crew.
Yeah, with the camera crew and everybody. So the chorus is that kind of chorus, right?
But I have one question first.
Okay, go ahead.
This song did do well on the radio, and that's great. But I was just wondering, how come you have so many songs named after girls?
Because well, I think it comes down to because I was very influenced by Lou Reed, you see. Okay. And Lou Reed had all these songs like Candy Says, and all these songs with sayings.
Yeah.
Candy Says, Jane Says, all those. So I always like those kind of. It reminds me of Tennessee Williams, just like that plays, Yeah. That's pretty cool, eh? That was a good answer, surprised me.
Good question.
Yeah, good question, William. All righty, so should we do it?
Yes, let's
sing along. 1, 2, 3, 4. want you over for tea, and there ain't room for three. Hey, Anne-Marie. Hey, Anne-Marie. Hey, Anne-Marie. I got a new melody, but you're better at lyrics than me. Let's write a song and see. Hey, Anne-Marie. Hey, Anne-Marie. I saw you ride it on your bicycle. I hadn't met you before. I'm gonna come knocking on your door, and I could see you some more. Sing along. Hey, Anne-Marie, let's get together and see. I finish work at 3, so tell me when you're free. Hey, Anne-Marie, I can't hear you now. Hey, Anne-Marie, let's do it again one more time for the people there. Hey, Anne-Marie, you know you're out there, baby. I know you're out there. Hey, Anne-Marie, take it off now. Yeah,
I've always loved that song.
Great song.
thank you.
There's just something about it, you know.
I didn't screw up the harmony too much.
No, you did pretty good, man.
It's a pretty cool video too you got on it.
Oh,
yeah. Tell us about the video, actually. How did you guys...
Before you,
The video.
just what happened was we were in. It sounds so exotic, doesn't it? We were in Paris, and
Wow.
the drummer who played on the record is not actually in the video, but he shot it. What had happened is that we were going to do this exotic, cool French video going by the Eiffel Tower. And what ended up happening, we shot it around the corner of his house. And so it could be anywhere, really. It could be like basically Mississauga. And so Eve walked backwards as we were just doing it, and we couldn't hear on the iPhone the song. So we're like, what do we do? So I said, well, let's do what we always do what the monkeys do, right? You just jump around and act silly. And and we had so much fun doing it. It ended up being more fun than it should have been.
It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, because we couldn't hear it. So I couldn't really mime properly. And, so we could just hear it enough to do it. So, yeah, that's...
So were you like Mickey Dolenz? Was that your role in the video? Or were you
No,
more
he's
Kate-
Mike
you were-
Nesmith.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I always loved them. I just don't get the toque. Do you have a toque?
I can get one.
Ah,
I could do
cool.
one.
So Bill,
I
I
like
guess
Davey.
you're up next, eh?
Yeah.
Are you
I'm
gonna
next.
Are you gonna do that Christmas tune?
I think I should. I'm gonna do.
So
It is.
appropriate.
Yeah,
You're,
it is.
You're so prepared, and I'm humbled
But
by
I
your
thought
preparedness.
we should. I thought you were going to ask me some questions about wine.
Oh well, how's it going down in Beamsville?
Well, I do live right down
Right
the
smack
street now
dab in
from
the
the
middle.
Mike Weir
Oh, my
Winery.
Good wines, actually.
Is it good?
Yeah,
Okay.
decent.
I've got to check it out.
Sauvignon Blanc is very good. The
Yes.
Chardonnay is very good.
I walk by there all the time. It's a nice spot.
A distant relative of mine,
And
Mike
the-
Weir.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the great thing about the Mike Weir Winery is that all of the proceeds goes to his charity, not just a portion of it. So,
Really?
Very good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's, I think it's a good thing anyway. You get so many people that get into the, that business just for, the romance of it. Yeah, it's so romantic. But
wine
he's actually
business is
doing something
romantic.
good with it, you
Yeah.
know, and it's not expensive either. It's all under $20 a bottle, and it's all pretty good. So
And my sister is actually taking a course on wine and wine tasting at Niagara College.
oh, great.
So she's telling me about it all the time. She's signing up for the second part of the course.
Oh, she's a masochist too, eh?
All this wine talk
That's
is
how it
getting
starts.
me thirsty.
I guess so.
That's
I
how it
guess so.
starts. I was
Yeah.
just in Buffalo, actually. They have wine down there too. I was scared,
Wow.
but it's not bad. It's exactly the same as in Niagara, except it's just on the other
On
side
the
of
other
the lake.
side, yeah. Who would think? You wouldn't think that because it's.
Yeah.
Well,
But we're
anyways,
getting a little off topic here, aren't we?
This is good though.
So, okay. Every picture tells a story. So,
Yes.
is this the Christmas song?
This is the Christmas
Okay,
song.
so
Yes.
so this is kind of like a Christmas card in a way,
Hmm.
to the world. as it were.
Absolutely. I like that. A Christmas card to the world.
Yeah.
Every year in Hamilton, Dave's cohort in the Shakers, a guy named Rick Andrew, who has a studio called Valley View Studios, they do a compilation CD. Different Hamilton folks show up, different musician friends and pals, Ray Materik
join
and Laurie Yates.
I-
should come on.
Astrid,
I'd
you
love
should
to.
do it.
You're
David
in,
should
you're
do
in.
it this year. And it's all done in the spirit of just of Christmas and of music. It's not done for commercial purposes.
No.
But basically, the week before Christmas, most musicians tend to come home for the holidays. And while they're home, the studio isn't busy, and so everybody converges on Rick's house. There's a lot of cross-pollination of musicians on these discs, and everybody needs to come up with a Christmas song every year. So, so for example, I'm in the studio on Tuesday next week, and I haven't written my song yet. I'll do that Tuesday morning, or maybe Monday if I'm really ahead of the curve this year. So that's the spirit of it. Anyways, a couple of years ago, my wife lost her mom at Christmas time, and a year later, I went to bed thinking about how tough it must be for her, the following year to have the first Christmas without her mom, and so I wrote a song about missing somebody at Christmas time, and wherever that person is, you're still thinking of them, and so it's called Merry Christmas Wherever You Are. So this was recorded as a duet with Marie Bottrell, one of my favorite gal country singers, and it did pretty well on radio for us. And tonight, Dave gets to play a little bit of Marie's part.
I get to be Marie.
So, yeah.
Okay. Hey, Anne Marie. Hey, Marie.
Here we go.
Alrighty.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I started missing you every year at this time. I cannot shake this feeling, can't forget the days when you were mine. Is this a curse, or is this just love? Every year you're the only one I'm thinking of. Call it the holiday blues, whatever, this feeling's enough. So have a Merry Christmas wherever you are. Have a Merry Christmas, though it breaks my heart. Have a Merry Christmas. The jingle jangling of my heart, sometimes I think it goes too far. So Merry Christmas wherever you are. As the snow was falling, I read your old Christmas card. And soon my tears fell down too. Seems this time of year is always oh so hard. Oh, I tried to forget, but that's just not right. Christmas Eve will come and I won't sleep a week all night. The ghost of the past won't ever fade away from sight. Have a Merry Christmas wherever you are. Have a Merry Christmas, though it breaks my heart. Have a Merry Christmas. The jingle jangling of my heart, sometimes I think it goes too far. So Merry Christmas, wherever you are. Have a Merry Christmas wherever you are. Have a Merry Christmas, although it breaks my heart. Have a Merry Christmas. The jingle jangling of my heart, sometimes I think it goes too far. So Merry Christmas. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a Merry Christmas. Everly Brothers ending?
Yeah.
Wherever you are.
Good.
Wow, I can see why it got airplay, man. It's pretty catchy.
Thank you.
You're going to be stuck in my head for a while there.
The video for that song was really cool too, because we went down to Buffalo. There hadn't been snow at all. We went in, the first part of the video was all the studio shots where we were set up like a band. We're playing, and then we were gonna go shoot outside in a park. We did the morning shoot in the studio, got out at about noon, we opened the door and it was a blizzard out.
Nice.
So then it was great, it was Buffalo, right? So hey, so we drove to the local park and it was so cold and it was a blizzard, but the video is really great because of it, because I'm outside playing in the park in a blizzard. It's
That's
quite
great.
funny.
Do they still air the video?
Yeah,
we
you
see
can
it anywhere?
you can see it on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you go to my website, billculp.ca, you can go and there's a link to my YouTube channel and it's on there. Yeah, it was a lot of fun doing it. And also there's a little kid in the video, and the angle that we took for it was that there's a little kid that misses his dad because at Christmas time, because his dad's a musician who is me, you know, a real stretch. And anyways, when we're in the studio rehearsing, and I open my my guitar case, and there's a Christmas card in it saying, "I miss you, Dad," from the kid. So then at the end, the dad comes home, so it's a happy ending.
Nice.
So
Like happy endings.
that's my
Very
son
Hollywood.
Carter, and my daughter Maggie is the drummer in the video. She plays drums, and so I said, "Hey, Maggie, you want to be in a video?" So she's got a
Killer.
little Sun Records T-shirt on, and she's playing drums in the video.
Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah.
Always got to hire the little people, you know. So, David, since we need to get better acquainted with you, but I have to say right away, you have very good taste in tuners and capos,
Oh,
because
yeah,
I
thank
have
you,
a
thank
shub
you.
and a snark too, and they're awesome. So I know you're one of us.
All right.
So you're a sideman. Who did you play for?
Oh, just local bands here and there.
Yeah?
Yeah, in Vancouver. I was actually raised in Vancouver, so did a lot of work out there, and then moved to Winnipeg, and then now I'm in Hamilton.
Just
so.
making your way east, eh?
Yeah, I've stopped in Hamilton.
What brought you into Hamilton?
Actually, family.
Oh, yeah.
My wife's from here, so
Oh, sweet.
yeah. So yeah.
Very good. So how would you describe Hamilton? Because I lived in Hamilton for some time too, and I've lived all over the years. And people say, "How do you like Hamilton?" You know. So how do you tell people you like Hamilton?
You know what? It's actually I'm discovering it as a very vibrant arts community. It's really like blown up, and since
Yeah.
I've been here, it's 2008.
Wow.
And just it's all coming out of the woodwork. You know, it's not evident when you first move here, but as you live here and you read the local papers and stuff like that, and you hear about, you know, the Hamilton Music Awards and all that sort of stuff, it's like, wow,
Yeah.
there's a lot here.
You got to dig. You got to scratch and sniff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. So what song are you going to sing for us? Give
Well,
me that snapshot.
Unfortunately, I don't have a Christmas song. I've never written one, so maybe
Don't worry about him. He's just the
maybe next year.
overachiever of the day.
especially one as good as that
We're
one.
gonna
so-
bring some sleigh bells.
Well, you know, that could work on this
Write a
one.
Christmas song at the end.
Well, maybe that'll be my goal for next December. Yeah.
Or you could write one for me for Tuesday night.
Yeah, I'm not that prolific. So. Well, this one, it's off my album If I Fall In, and it fits the topic really well, because back in my early 20s, my heart got broken, and I was living in Vancouver at the time, and took a road trip up to Alaska, and with a friend of mine, and we were at this diner, and I was digging into my breakfast and totally oblivious that the waitress was giving me the eye, and just sort of we ended up chatting all morning, and she's a really lovely person, and the song is sort of about what I would have liked to have happened with her. Nothing ever came of it, but this is what would have happened if maybe we hooked up a bit, So this is called North of the 49.
All the roads to greener pastures are off the beaten path. One wrong turn on the highway, and I never look back. The house upon the hillside was just an empty shell, the remnants of a vision that somebody tried to sell. And the water trickled down from a drop into the stream, and the fruits of autumn harvest grow on hills of emerald green, and the skies become a mirror of the lives underneath in this northern town. At the diner by the station, down at Highway 99, where the youth of men are weathered from the ravages of time, and she was waiting on the tables, giving service with a smile. By my 13th cup of coffee, I knew I'd be here for a while. A wedding on her sweet 16, a widow at 18, double shifts and overtime, and 2 more mouths to feed. Oh, I never meant to look for love, but it was looking back at me with sheltering eyes. In the veil of the northern lights, and winter chills the northern soul thrust into its icy throes. Stoke the fires that burn inside. Love will keep you warm north of the 49. All the roads to greener pastures are off the beaten path. One wrong turn on the highway, and I never look back. The house upon the hillside is more than just a home to a city boy and a country girl, a place to call their own. And the water trickled down from a drop into the stream, and the fruits of autumn harvest grow on hills of emerald green, and the skies become a mirror of the lives underneath in this northern town. In this northern town. In this northern town.
That's just a really captivating tones on your guitar, and the melody is beautiful. You have such a silky voice too.
Yeah. Who's some of your
Pleasure.
heroes on the guitar when you would first start?
Bruce Coburn.
Bruce.
James Keelan, Stephen Faring.
Yeah.
Those sort of guys. Fellow by the name of Richard Schindel from the States, who's now living, I think, in Buenos Aires. But yeah.
Lovely choices.
Great song.
Yes.
Have you shot a video for it yet?
No, I haven't.
Go to Buffalo.
No, I was actually thinking the four of us, we could take a road trip and we'll drive up to that diner in Alaska.
Sure.
Let's shoot it there.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
And then wouldn't it be...
I gotta be back by Sunday though.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go in the new year then. We got more time. And then wouldn't it be cool if she was still working there and you played the song for her and she didn't remember you? Oh, no, just kidding. No.
She probably wouldn't.
No. And she was actually, she remembered that moment. I was just kidding.
No.
That would be, come on, that would be.
Sounds ambitious.
Yeah.
But Astrid,
Yeah.
what you
Oh, I
got
guess
cooking
it's
up
my turn.
your musical cauldron there?
Well, I have, as I do, I kind of, you think about the theme and you go, what makes sense, Well, this is probably the closest I can get to it. So if you think of a snapshot of, and don't tell me this has never happened before, you're out at a bar or at a party, you hook up with somebody, and then you realize they're absolutely nuts. But you need to follow it through for whatever reason that you decide you're going to follow it through, But the things that, basically that's the snapshot. So it's, kind of the things that go through your head, for better or worse, throughout the evening.
This is something that probably a lot of musicians can
Yeah, really true.
Absolutely.
I wrote this song a few years back with my friend Eric McFadden, who he plays with P-Funk and played with Eric Burden and various other people. Great player. But he came up from San Francisco to write some stuff with me and record. And it's interesting that what we recorded in my little studio at the time, it actually all made it to the record.
Wow, cool. Two of my favorites too, Eric and P-Funk. You can't go wrong if you played with both of them.
Eric's
Love them
amazing.
both.
Eric's
Love them
amazing,
both,
and he sings on it too.
Sweet.
And we had such fun writing this song. As a matter of fact, we were laughing so hard. Some of the lyrics are kind of silly, but we like them. So it's called "Your New Drug." High on your new drug? Are you seeing things so clear? If you really gotta go, why don't you leave your body here? In the night, do you dream in Russian? Can you astral travel there? There's got to be a way to get inside you. Ride a rocket ship to Jesus, sail a pony to the moon. The quicker that we make it, it won't be too soon. I don't want to be loved by you. I just want to be drugged by you. Understanding's overrated. Don't want to know just what you mean. And I know tonight we're faded. Between the daylight and a dream, I see rainbows and unicorns and baby puppies being born, and the light that shines above you. There's a time for making wishes and a time for making love. You got the highs, I got the need. I don't want to be judged
judged by you. I just want to be loved by you. I don't want to be touched by you. I just want to be drugged by you. Don't want to be judged by you. I just want to be touched by you. I don't want to be loved by you. I just want to be drugged by you. Ooh.
Welcome back to Ensemble on Cable 14. Let's head back to the studio with Astrid and the rest of the musicians.
Thanks. So we're back with the Ensemble show with Dave Rave, Bill Culp, and David Lum. And Dave, why don't you give us a snapshot of this next song you're going to do?
Yeah, the song is called Weight of the World. And it was just very interesting, our last round of songs. It suddenly dawned on me that we have a song that comes from northern BC, up to Alaska. We have a song that comes from California. Bill is from Santa Claus land, like a Buffalo, right? And the other one was England. And I was just, before I go to the song, I was just going to ask, does anybody find where you are writing affects the way you write? Like this next song, Way of the World, that was my first song I ever wrote in New York City. And it was with two songwriters named John Tiven and Sally Tiven and Gary Piggold. Now, did that? Do you find that if you're in when you were in Hamilton or in out west or in New York, wherever you are, does it affect your songwriting ability? Well, just before I go, is that just curious about that? You know, like.
Some of the terrain and the environment just sort of seeps into.
Have you found that, Bill, when you're on the road?
Yep.
Yeah, have you written out west in different places? Did you ever write anything? Did you ever write in New Zealand or England and those places?
A little bit in Australia.
Yeah. How about you? Any?
I've never. You know, that's an interesting question because I'm not really sure. I suppose the generally what you're seeing affects how you write, but. Man, that's a hard question.
Yeah,
I can't really answer that.
Yeah, it's just interesting, you know, anyhow, because for me it was a really big deal, and I remember I wrote the tune and recorded it, and I played it. I was really nervous because I hadn't written it in the hometown and part of our gang in Hamilton, and I remember I played it to Ray, actually, at the Tim Hortons. I said, Ray, listen to this. Is it okay? And, you know, because I've gone out of rank, out of Hamilton area, and he said, it's okay. It's good. Yeah, you know, I went, oh, thank you. You know, you sometimes just need that confidence to do it, you know, and it was a big, because you're writing with professional songwriters, and is it, you know, so are you any good type thing, you know? So, yeah, I guess I'm okay, you know? So anyhow, it's called Weight of the World, and it's a fun song to sing. And I actually recorded it and went to Russia, and we did a video in Russia for this song. So it was a fun experience.
Back in Russia.
Yeah, you see, there's a connection between Russia.
There's a connection.
I knew it.
How do people see the video for that one?
How do they see it?
Yeah.
Well, I know
Like
much.
a YouTube channel. I'm trying
Much
to plug
music had it on for a long time, but I think it's on YouTube now. It should be, yeah. Anyhow, Weight of the World. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm standing alone. I'm standing beside myself. I'm high on the throne. But I can remember when you were a friend of mine. A better time. Anything to make it, baby. The weight of the world is too much when you stand alone, baby. The weight of the world is too much, weighing down like a stone.
I hate you for leaving me.
But sometimes I get so weak.
You weren't at liberty.
You in the way you speak, like a friend of mine, in a better time. Fingerprints can be misleading. The weight of the world is too much when you stand alone, baby. The weight of the world is too much, weighing down like a stone. I'm knocking 100 times with rules that don't apply. But it was all in love's design. Like a friend of mine in a better time. Anything to make it, baby. The weight of the world is too much when you stand alone, baby. The weight of the world is too much, weighing down like a stone, baby. The weight of the world is too much. The weight of the world. The weight of the world is too much. The weight of the world. The weight of the world is too much. The weight of the world. Billy Pickett.
All right.
Is that on a record right now?
Yeah, well, it's Valentino's Pirates, which is a record I put out that came out for a long time. It was only on Melodia Records in Russia. And then Jamie Vernon from Bullseye Records put it out back around 9/11 time, back in 2001. And I think now it's going to probably come out again in another form and shape. So,
And
but
it's on iTunes.
yeah, iTunes and all that stuff, you know. But it was, yeah, Russia, you know. What's that connection there with
Bring
Russia?
it back, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's,
Absolutely.
That's a great song. That still does really well when we play that song live.
yeah, it's a fun one. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And then yeah,
I'd call it a
Sleeper.
classic.
Oh, classic. So what you got cooking in your cauldron there, too? William?
Well, I'm going to do a song that it's. I guess there's three components to how I wrote this song. The first thing was that I had a sort of a descending chord progression. For those of you who are musicians out there, Dave could appreciate that. He's a great musician. So I had this descending chord progression from a song that Brian Wilson had written. That was the first component of it. And then I had this line I could have been a contender. I used to box, and that explains a lot, I'm sure, to you watching at home. Anyways, and one of my favorite movies is called On the Waterfront, starring Marlon Brando, and he's got a famous scene in it when he's in the back of a car and he's talking to his brother, and he says, "It was you, Charlie. I could have had class. I could have been a contender instead of a bum, which is what I am." So anyways, I always liked that line, I could have been a contender. And so I had that kind of in my head too. So I had this descending chord pattern. I had this line, I could have been a contender. And then I started thinking about somebody who's maybe looking back, similar to the character that Marlon Brando played, Terry Malloy, as an adult is looking back on his life and thinking, man, I could have been something. And I grew up in a town called Dunnville. And in Dunnville, the cultural center in our town, there was, 5 bars that had bands every weekend, so that was cool. But if you were, a young kid like me growing up there, the arena was the place that you would always go. And so I used to be at the arena probably 5 nights a week. I was at the arena for something. And there was a guy whose name was John Paul, who was an incredibly talented hockey player. He was a #1 draft pick in the junior draft and a surefire guy to go to the NHL. But at the end of the day, John Paul didn't really want it enough, and he kind of gave up and he came home. And he became sort of a small town legend, this guy that was the greatest hockey player ever. And I thought, what would it be to be him today, and thinking back, wow, I could have been a contender in sort of the hockey sense. So there's a hockey angle to this. And knowing the North and everything, appreciating the North.
Going on to it, so appropriate.
That's absolutely. So anyways, so this song is called The Ballad of John Paul, and this was also my release on Bullseye Records.
All right.
So you want to do this one? It's in E? No, we never did do a video. We should do one.
Well, you got a song right now.
Maybe, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. When we go to Alaska to shoot your video, we can do some cool stuff along the way.
We can just go down the street here now. It's probably even easier.
Yeah, it might be easier.
Alrighty.
Less fun. More fun to go to Alaska, though. Here we go. Ballad of John Paul. 1, 2, 3, 4. John Paul was a natural, heading for the big time, leaving us behind. John Paul was headed for a follow, man, he had it all. He never got the call, so he's still here today. A small town hero, you can hear him say, I could have had everything, I could have had it all. I could have been a contender, standing so strong and tall. I could have had everything, I could have had it all. If not for my fatal flaw, if not for my fatal flaw. Bobby G never met his match, he thought he couldn't lose, but didn't have to pay his dues. Bobby G, he was walking tall, oh man, he had it all, until he took a fall, so he's still here today. A small town hero, you can hear him say, I could have had everything, I could have had it all. I could have been a contender, standing so strong and tall. I could have had everything, I could have had it all. If not for my fatal flaw, if not for my fatal flaw. I could have been a contender, standing so strong and tall. I could have had everything, I could have had it all. If not for my fatal flaw, if not for my fatal flaw, if not for my fatal flaw, if
Ballad of John.
The Pope.
By the way, John Paul has heard the song. Because, of course, all his friends have. They actually.
What?
He still plays like old timer hockey. And somebody had the CD and they brought it into the dressing room one time and played it on a boombox for him. And then I did get invited to play like a birthday party for him. I couldn't do it. I really wanted to do it, but I wasn't available at the time. So anyways, there you go.
But he didn't hit you. Okay.
What? Come on.
So David, I'm really looking forward to this.
Oh,
And so tell me, give me the snapshot.
well, I thought I chose the second song, and then I realized after the fact that ever I submitted it in, it's like I've got 2 songs with the word North in it.
Nice.
So, oh well. I should have thought about it, but
But that's from the EP Songs from the North, right?
yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, this is I wrote this when I was going out to a wedding in Winnipeg, a friend of mine, and started it in Hamilton. And by the time I got to Marathon along the highway there, it was done. So, which is
Nice.
pretty good because I'm not a prolific writer by any means, and so I finished it in what, 2 days, something like that.
Now, Marathon, just so we know geographically.
It's on Lake Superior.
Lovely.
Yeah, very nice drive there. This is about all the places I've lived. So here we go. This is called True North.
I was stuck way out on Highway 1, hours from my home. So I turned off at the junction. On the back roads I did roam. Now I'm broke down in some small town, forever so it seems, between where I should be going and where I want to be. Now I have no aversion to this rocky mountain view, and my eyes, they will be lonely when it's time to bid adieu. But the crystal cold clear waters reflecting back at me, the ripples of a life that I'm not sure I want to see. But my compass points to true north, and my true north strong and free. Sometimes I'm way off course, I'm off the map or lost at sea. But my old friend, the North Star, always watches over me. My compass points to true north, and my true north strong and free. Well, I've played for change at Portage in Maine, enough to get me by. And the future was as brilliant as a Manitoba sky. But the prairie wind's relentless, the horizons have no end. And I'm a kite that's come untethered, and I've taken flight again. But my compass points to true north, and my true north strong and free. Sometimes I'm way off course, I'm off the map or lost at sea. But my old friend, the North Star, always watches over me. My compass points to true north, and my true north strong and free. Well, I've settled down in Steeltown, content with where I've been. And the wheels are turning slower, and the tire tread's worn thin. There's still a spark that makes me want to take hold of that key. Oh, we can go together, 'cause I'm taking you with me. But my compass points to true north, and my true north strong and free. Sometimes I'm way off course, I'm off the map or lost at sea. But my old friend, the North Star, always watches over me. My compass points to true north, and my true north strong and free. Our compass points to true north, and our true north strong and free. Our compass points to true north, and our true north strong and free.
Nice.
Nice.
Really
You should have played
nice.
that at the Grey Cup 100.
Oh, yeah.
Would have had you there, yeah. Why not? It was a beautiful song for Canada, you know?
So, Portage in Maine, how much did you make? Shekels.
Hundreds of cents.
Good to be in the music business, isn't it? Yeah.
That's a great song.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song. So is that on a record at all?
That is going to be on the next one.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully early 2013, maybe.
Great.
Yeah.
How many records do you have, actually?
Decent ones? One.
Well, I mean, just in
Yeah.
general.
I did one about 10 years ago.
Of your own?
Of my own
Yeah.
stuff, yeah. And my latest one was in 2011.
Oh, that's great. I'm just releasing a new solo record, and it's been 10 years since I released one, too.
Yeah.
So,
10 years?
yeah, believe it or not, 10
Wow.
years.
This goes by.
It's my opus.
Oh, it's a good one.
I remember when we were
Good
in,
things come to those
I
who
was in
wait.
California, and I missed you by a couple of days.
Yeah.
That was too bad.
You would have seen Eric, too,
Yeah, you were.
because they're playing up at the Mystic there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Did you cut the whole record in California, or where'd you cut it? Like
No, parts of it there at Jane Whelan's studio. You know Jane from the
From the
Go-Go's.
Go-Go's, yeah.
And cut part of it there, cut part of it in my own studio, cut part of it in a place in Trenton called Sli-Fi Chapel. Where else? Been a couple of other places. Actually, right around here in Dundas at Steve Foster's studio at Napier Park.
Lovely, yeah.
Yeah, we did some saxophone sessions and some background vocals and some vocal sessions there. So yeah.
Who else played on the record? You know,
Well, besides
I'm sure the audience
Eric
doesn't know.
McFadden, Joe Gore. If anybody reads Guitar Player magazine, they'll know who Joe Gore is. He's a regular contributor, and he's also an amazing guitar player. Amazing guitar player. So that was kind of a mistake. We didn't intend for that to happen, but Joe was there, and he's a huge part of the record. And Victor DiLorenzo from the Violent Femmes played drums on most of it, although there's a couple of other drummers on it. Of course, Ray Ferrugia of Hamilton fame plays on it, and Dan Cornelius, who I played with in another band called Ist, plays on it as well. And who else? God, there's other people playing bass, and it was just a
real
big,
great group of people.
It's unfortunate that some of the people that I wanted to play on the record, just wasn't geographically possible.
Right.
But
When does the record come out?
April 1st. Well, it's done, but we're working on packaging now, and just haven't nailed down a publicist, so
And do you
that's
have a
kind of
label
hinging on.
right now?
We're talking to one in Canada right now. Haven't got one in the States, but we have big distribution. So,
Right.
we.
One of my most exciting moments, Astrid, is I was in New York City in Union Square. For anybody been there, it's by 14th Street, and my favorite little bookstore upstairs, going through the new music magazines, and I saw your book, and it was like, I know her, that's so cool, When you see somebody you know in another city, like an album or a picture or a book, it's almost like it's a weird thing, isn't it? Like it's like a connection. Like,
I'm
there's a
reaching out
friend.
and poking you.
Yeah, there's a friend of mine. I know this person. Hey, people, I know this person. It's cool, It's neat, But it was exciting.
Did you make somebody buy it?
Of course.
Yeah. Like, hey, you, come over here. I know this person. Buy the book. Anyway, so, I got the song that I'm going to do is, I think it's very much part of the theme, but instead of a snapshot, it's more of a smell. Like, how sometimes you smell something and it just takes you back to the first time, whether it's, some horrible perfume that you remember smelling on your granny, or in this case for me it was patchouli, and writing this song was interesting because I was just kind of writing some words in a cafe sitting outside, and I smelled the patchouli, and then all this stuff just came to me, and it was all, I think, part of memories that I've had, and not necessarily connected to any one person or any one time, but just definitely connected to the smell somehow, because as soon as I smelled that, it just triggered something in me that had to come out. And so I've been actually accused of ripping off the Beatles in this one, but I actually think it's more derivative Pink Floyd than it is ripping off the Beatles, so you can tell me. It's called Patchouli Boy.
Beside you on the ancient ocean floor, whiskey dances and perfume. The ground was shaking and the air was shimmering. And then my ears began to ring. Where is my patchouli boy? Did I lose him on the breeze? And if I just imagine him, what does that say about me? The years they pass in moments that are lingering. Time together, time for tea. And if I fade from indigo to gold, would you still remember me? Where is my patchouli boy? Did I lose him on the breeze? And if I just imagine him, what does that say about me? Beside him on the gently blowing sand, sunlight shatters in my hand. Before the morning sirens rise and sing, I remember everything. Where is my patchouli boy? Him on the breeze. And if I just imagine him, what does that say about me? Oh, where is my patchouli boy? Did I lose him on the breeze? The winds are slick with his perfume. Here I wait till he comes back to me.
Thank you.
Well, that's our show for now. We hope you enjoyed Ensemble here on Cable 14. We want to say thanks to all our musicians, David, Dave, Bill, and Astrid especially. And we're going to flash some stuff on the screen for you so you can find out where they're living online. Thanks for watching.